The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the podcasters and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent or their affiliates.
Action!
Hey, what it do there, good people?
Happy Monday.
What?
Happy Monday, Phyllis.
I don't know what's happy about it, but good Monday to you, Royale.
We're alive.
Right.
What do you mean? What's so happy about
Over there with the little photo shoot, doing your
Just
dirty
finna say
draws.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, we seen the dirty draws photo shoot. It's cool.
It was baby clothes. Shut up.
With the grandma rollers in your head.
You was in the laundromat, wasn't you?
Yes, sir.
Dirty draws photos. Yeah, dirty draws.
I cannot stand y'all. I can't do nothing without y'all clowning me. I promise to God, I can't stand.
I ain't said nothing.
This one.
Well, at least we didn't say they was ugly. You know what I'm saying?
How y'all been doing?
All right, I was gonna ask, how was your weekend?
My weekend was
cool. Hey, man. My apologies. Go ahead.
No, my weekend was cool. How was yours? You guys been out, I see.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Mine was just phenomenal, man. It was, it went up this weekend, man. I attended about three different events.
Yeah, I seen you.
And the fourth one was my daughter's prom. I fit everything in.
That's what's up. Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Everybody was having a good old time this weekend. I seen you guys was in Vegas. Running around.
Yeah. With that.
Got people calling me and shit.
Hey,
let me tell
where
you at.
Let me tell you something about your little friend. Let me tell you something about your Let me tell you something about your little. No, I'm playing. But no, we was in Vegas at the International Female Ride Day. And,
cool.
And actually, I didn't know it had been going on that long or that it was that big. But it's actually like across the country, the world, and everything else. You know, when you really like tune into it. You know what I mean? It's like all over the place. So
that's pretty dope. Yeah. Well, I know they were happy you guys were there.
They didn't even know we was there. They barely noticed we was even in the joint. No,
that's a lie. That's a damn lie. Now that's a lie.
Yeah.
That's dope. Was it hot? I'm sure.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it was.
But it was all right.
It was all right.
Yeah, the ride there and back home was cool as a fan too. So
for you, it was.
I was just going to say that for me it was. I'm a weatherman. You know what I'm talking about? I check the weather before I get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Mecca think he riding in a bubble.
Mecca didn't check the weather, huh?
Man.
Not at all.
Boy, oh boy.
Got to my house complaining when he came back.
Per usual. What was wrong, Mecca? You had too many clothes on or not enough?
Nah, hell no, not enough. I was slow.
Yeah, not enough.
Shit, fall,
here
rain.
We go. I can't hear Mecca. See?
That's your phone.
Yeah. Hey, well, check this out. Let's go ahead and get this thing moving real quick.
Yes,
it's Jermaine Fontaine, the court-appointed devil's advocate. We got Mecca, the feelings wrecker, in the building, looking like he caught a sunburn in Vegas. We got Dr. Phil to make you feel better. We'll make it get on your nerves. And we got Miss Royal with the hocus pocus and the dirty draws photo shoot over the weekend.
Boy.
I cannot stand this Negro.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You get a little hocus pocus and your clock is popping, you'll be okay.
Man.
But today we are going to talk about something that majority of us need. You need it, you're gonna need it, or you're gonna want it. And if it's not even just because you ride a bike, you're gonna want it anyway and in general. You understand what I'm saying? So we have our friend, our buddy, Cory Ellerbee here to sit and explain to us what it is about life insurance and things of that nature. Yeah. That was a short clap, you little buster. I don't like you no more, Mecca. I don't fucking like you no more. We supposed to get some Arsenio Hall up in this motherfucker. How you doing, Cory?
Man, I'm doing real good. Speaking of the weather, man, we had good weather all week. Now it just started raining up here. So,
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Right. And where exactly are you at?
I'm up in the Bay, Fairfield, 707, up north, California.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So that means we're getting a storm coming then. If y'all raining up there, it's going to come down.
Sometimes it just miss y'all all together, though. So,
Yeah, for real, it does.
Yeah.
y'all get better weather than us, for sure.
That's very for sure. That's very for sure.
Yes, sir.
Period.
Yeah. But like I said, we got you on here today. We're happy and pleased to have you on here. But that way you can kind of, because the life insurance thing has been a talk on the set for a long time. And I don't think nobody's really grasped it. Some people goes in one ear and out the other, or it just goes over their head, And I think with you on here and being able to simplify it for a lot of people is going to help people, chime into that instead of, again, like I said, having fish fries and car washes and you walking around with a water bottle at every motherfucking stoplight. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I mean, because, the thing is, for the money that you spend on your vices in life, whether it's weed or drink and little bullshit, you could sit there and be sitting on thousands, so that your children, your family ain't got to go through this hardship. You know what I mean? That you sitting somewhere. You know what I mean? I'm just, me, I'm a pessimist. Yeah, go ahead, Cory.
Yeah, so, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, we insure everything. There's not one of us that don't have insurance on our phones. Our phones mean that much to us that we have insurance on our phones, and we don't even insure our life. The most important, commodity is. I mean, people will call me to add insurance, on the speakers that they added to their motorcycle, but they ain't. But they riding around, riding dirty, 80, 90 miles just straight mobbing, and don't even have insurance on their own selves. Leaving a family at home, and And I've been on the set for 20 some years, and we ain't had no fish fries because we ain't got no cooks in our chapter. If you've been on set long enough, you're gonna lose some brothers. That's just how it is.
Most definitely.
Right.
And we've had to have some GoFundMe. We've had to chip in. We've had to do what we got to do. But luckily, we're all trying to, because I'm in their ear constantly. So I'm trying to make sure everybody that I can touch understands, because it's not even that expensive. And the earlier you get it, the cheaper it is. So it's about, I want to be very bright. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but whatever I do, I want to make sure the money's there so they can take care of me and do it right. But regardless, I don't want to be a burden to nobody.
Right.
Very true.
Right. Yeah. Right. So again, like I said, we was gonna do some like questions and answers type thing today, and that way you can, from a simple-minded individual, you can kind of explain it, like ABCs to some of these individuals, who may not grasp it, may not understand what it's supposed to do, things of that nature.
Oh yeah, no, hit me. I'm ready for you.
I got a question for you.
All right.
Most of the time people go to get coverage, they don't know. So like, how do one kind of figure out how much coverage they actually need for self?
Right. So there's every agent that has out there, we have little calculator things that we put on. It's like a screen. Okay. How much is your mortgage that you still got to pay off? If you're in that position to have a mortgage. Okay. What is your bills looking like? Do you have kids that still need to go through college? Some of it is about how many years you want to make sure that your significant other is set up to be able to make sure she gets everything lined up so she ain't getting foreclosed on as soon as it get on. So there's a calculator to do all that. And if you actually figure that out, it's a lot of money that you need for your family to keep going. But even if you put a tenth of that, it's going to help. I mean, not everybody can afford to have everything, multi-million-dollar insurance policy, but everybody can afford 150,000, and that's a huge difference. You may not be able to keep the house, but at least they can have the money to put down on the next place, pay the movers to get them over there and get them set up while they're still mourning losing their spouse. It's simple stuff like that. Do what you can, because you can always add more policies later when you can afford it.
Right.
But yeah, every agent's got a little calculator to try to figure out what you should have, and and some people will chime in and go right for that. Not everybody's in that position, but don't let not being able to afford the end goal stop you from, affording any goal. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me tell you this, because you say between 100 and 150, right? What would make, does the premium or whatever you pay per month ever go up or get raised?
So there's multiple types of policies out there. Like, for example, the most common one that people of, let's just say, our age should get is especially when you're trying to make sure it's like a term policy. So we're just going to say for the next 10, 15, 20, or 30 years that we want to have this set amount of money put aside. So if something happened to us during that time, my significant other or the kids are going to get broke off a certain amount of money. That policy will not change. So if it starts off at $67.50 when it starts, that's what it is on 30 years later. That's set. There's other types of policies that you can have that grow, that try to earn money and stuff like that. That's a whole different type of thing. So what are those some called? Of those. There's the one that changes the most is a index universal life policy, which is another way of building wealth. It's just another. It's like when you're a person who's got CDs and has investments and has 401ks and has IRAs, it's just another thing to diversify your portfolio, to have money someplace else, because that actually builds money based on what the stock market's doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the person, go ahead.
Well, that kind of policy for somebody, for an old head, is a little harder because you only have so many years to try to build that amount up. So that policy is super expensive compared to if you started off like I have juvenile policies, 12 and 13-year-olds have policy. So they're going to, by the time, they're 30 years old and want to buy a house, they can borrow against their own money, tax-free.
For sure.
But see, most of us didn't learn the right way. We didn't have nobody teaching us, and so we didn't start early. So now we're just trying to make sure we get something to take care of our families. And luckily for us, that's the cheapest route to go anyway.
Right.
Okay, so I was going to ask, there's a term and then a term or permanent. I know one should, as I heard, let me say it that way, should one get a term policy where it's cheaper set time, or the permanent where it's a whole universal life coverage? I mean, I know it depends on the individual, but for the people who may not know, I'm kind of just throwing a question out there.
So if you can afford it, it's good to have them both. Personally, I have like a 100,000 whole life and then a 500,000 term policy. So no matter what, I got 100,000 that's going to go to somebody at some point, no matter when I die. But then I have a 20-year term policy. So if I die between now and 76 years old, then that person's going to get 500,000 and that 100,000. So no matter what, for the rest of my life, I'm covered, which is because it's more expensive because it covers your whole life. So that policy I have a lower amount, but 100,000 is going to be good for somebody later on for sure. But if I have to the next 20 years, they're going to get $500,000. So.
Yeah, and I was going to get on that, right, about to explain the difference, because Dr. Phil just threw out some smorgasbord. Ain't nobody know what he's talking about.
Well, that's why we got him here to explain it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, I'm going to simplify it a little better. What's what type of insurance do you offer, and what is the difference in both of them? Whether I'm supposed to get 100,000 or $500,000. That's, I think, what people need to understand too.
Okay. So there's 4 major types of insurance. There's 4 that people pretty much work in. One is the term, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's for a term of time. So you get, whether or not it's a 10-year policy or a 20-year policy. Now, some people get caught up in the fact and say, what if I don't die in those 20 years? Then it seems like I just wasted my money. Same thing if you don't wreck your motorcycle in the 10 years you had it, you just wasted your money. So you just got to look at it. You can be as negative as you want to, but you're doing it to protect your family. So a term is set for a certain amount of time for a certain amount of money that doesn't change. A whole life policy is exactly what it sounds like. It's you got insurance for your whole life. And as you pay on a whole life policy, every year that you pay into it, more of that 100,000 is actual cash and less is insurance. So by the time you hit 100 years old, that policy is all cash.
Damn.
So that's the whole idea of what a whole life is. Universal life, that's more of like, that's another your whole life policy or set to a certain amount of time. But that amount goes with whatever the stock market. So you could have a universal life and not make any money. If the stock market's not doing good, you ain't doing good.
You ain't making no money, right?
Great, you could only do so well, Then the last kind of insurance is what's called end of life or graded death insurance. There's no physical. They ask you like 3 questions, and it's basically, everybody qualifies. So it's basically it's more expensive and it's a lower amount, but it's to make sure that you have funeral expenses covered for you in case you pass away.
Covered, right?
Okay, got you. Got you.
So those are the 4 major types.
How are the premiums calculated?
Premiums go by certain things: how old you are, what your health is, and what your health is probably right. Whether or not you're smoking, whether or not you're smoking on podcasts. I mean, they do. So the thing about it is, there's a lot of people who think they can apply for an application and they think I'm just not going to disclose this. Trust and believe they know everything, because there's a simple thing. First thing they ever check when they're trying to figure out what to insure you and how to insure you and what your health is like, they do something through the prescription database. So
damn.
Oh wow.
So damn.
They trying to figure out what kind of pills you've been taking.
You're taking high blood pressure medicine. You can't say I ain't got cancer and you're taking cancer medicine. So
they try to see what kind of pills you've been popping. God damn me.
Damn.
Your pill popper, what you been doing?
Database. We gonna get you anyway, man. Shit. Yeah. Well, all right then.
So some do require a medical exam, or is that no longer in existence?
So if you're probably, I'll give you an example of certain companies. There's certain companies that I use, they're not going to require exam no matter what. Period. Either they're going to approve you instantly or they're going to ask more questions. So for example, if you have asthma, they'll send you a questionnaire. How often do you have to use your rescue inhaler? How do you take pills for it? If you're having anxiety medicine, do you take anxiety medicine every day, or you just take it when you feel anxious? Because they already know what you're taking, so they're just asking you. So some people will just have questionnaires, and then you either get approved or declined. Once you're over 50 years old, there's a higher chance that some other companies may want a physical, and they ain't doing much. They pretty much just take your blood, do a urine sample, check your blood pressure, and then they just ask you the same questions that they've already asked you. See if you're still telling the same story. So keep the story straight.
And that's what I was going to ask next. Like, what can make someone's rate go up or down? Like, because I've heard that before.
So if you smoke, it's going to be higher than if you don't smoke. Like I just got a policy done. Used to be automatic decline if you smoke weed. Now, just add a person. They weren't instantly approved. They sent them a questionnaire. They want to know how much did they smoke weed? Did they bake the weed? Did they take edibles? So they ask all kinds of questions. So they're more wanting to find out whether or not you blowing your lungs up more so than you actually have the THC in your system. So they'll ask you questions like that as well. So, but it's not an automatic decline now the way it was 5 years ago.
Right.
And how tall you are compared to how much you weigh, you know, if you 5'3" and weigh 300, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. I ain't saying you ain't gonna get approved. I'm just saying though. It's gonna be rough.
He said, yeah, your premium gonna be kicking your ass. What you said?
Yeah, they have a little term. It's called decline for build.
Decline for build.
Is not right. So that's just a nice way of saying but on that same token, you could be declined for losing weight too fast.
Wow.
Because when you lose weight too fast, they think automatically that if you lost it that quick, you'll probably gain it right back that quick. So
True.
So, you know, you hear where people who had insurance, and then they'll say the insurance company didn't pay out or whatever. So, are there specific scenarios where the death benefits won't be paid?
The only time it shouldn't be that case is in the first 2 years. It's still like considered the discovery period. So, like for example, you commit suicide in the first 2 years, you ain't getting paid.
Right.
Like on the end of life policy,
Right,
if you die in the first 2 years under that policy, they pay you back what you paid in, but they're not going to pay you the death benefit. They'll just pay you back what you've already paid in, which is still something.
Yeah.
Unless they figure out that you defrauded somehow, then there shouldn't be no issue with them not paying.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. Like, what situations are not covered where we ain't giving you shit? We'll hear what you said.
Like I said, unless it's a blatant case of fraud, you know, I mean, you can even commit in some policies, you can even commit suicide after 2 years and it still be covered. You know, so you know, they just want people starting because stuff happens in life. Somebody, you know, they just don't want people getting insurance to commit suicide and leave it for their family, you know. So that's why there's a 2-year cap on most companies that way. But unless you do something fraudulent, there should not be a reason why you should not get paid out.
So I have a question, just in general. So there is a misconception that like bikers are not insurable. I've heard it before, or that it's hard for them to get insured. Is there something, can you clear that up for just in general, like you being a biker, right? Like you said, and that touches on what Fontaine and Dr. Phil both said, like what stops you from getting the benefits. And, you know, bikers live a certain type of lifestyle. So is that something that stops? Can you clear that misconception up?
So riding a motorcycle, period, is not going to stop you from getting insurance. Okay. There is a question.
I was just going to say that.
There is a question on there that clearly states, do you race your motorcycle? If you say you race your motorcycle, you're probably going to be declined. But also, if you race your speedboat, if you race, you know, so that's a specific question. One of the other reasons where a biker would be declined is if you have multiple felonies, and your felonies consist of armed robbery, you know, stuff that you put your life at risk.
Yeah.
It's not about being a biker that you're getting declined for. It's about your lifestyle choices that you're being declined for.
Yeah.
Got it. So are the premiums higher for bikers though? No. Okay.
No.
And that's what I was going to say. I don't, and I could be wrong, but I ain't never seen where they were able to dig into your personal life like that, besides, like you say, racing or something like of that nature. But if I'm just commuting down the street or whatever, you're not going to know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, or what group of individuals I'm a part of. Yeah. I mean, like I shouldn't have to disclose that, right?
No, I mean, I wouldn't you won't get past the first page if you say you're a racer. So
of course.
But you also can't say that, you know, you can't put that's your parachute either. You know, it's not just about being a biker. That's on the list, you know. It's they even ask you, do you have plans? Do you have plans to go to the dangerous foreign countries in the next 2 years? So there's certain questions like that. I mean, you know, because there was a time when going to Mexico, was touch and go.
Right,
So
right,
so
right.
that's when that got added to the questionnaire. They wanted to know how often you were going down to Mexico because there was no joke down in Mexico. So that's
Right.
on certain companies' questionnaires, but just I mean, if you're a regular person doing regular things, riding a motorcycle, you're fine.
So what's the highest
No, I only
policy that
say that.
someone can
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
what's the highest policy that for the motorcycle guys and girls who ride their motorcycle who don't have it, but they say, well, I can't afford it. So what would be like the minimum or the lowest payment that they would actually pay to get that?
So again, it depends on how old they are. Like a 30-year-old getting a $500,000 policy would probably cost 50, $60 a month. Then you got an old cat like me. I'll be 62 next month. I know I look good, but I'll be 62 next month. At 62, I got a policy. I added another policy last month, and that policy cost me 198 for 200,000. But I wanted the other one was running out, and I wanted to add one more. So it was
Gotcha.
worth it to make sure that I'm covered for another 15 years. Because I figure
So wait a minute. So you saying it gets as you get older, it gets higher?
Oh, it's way higher. It's way
God
higher.
damn.
Because you taking too long. You taking too motherfucking long to put into this pot.
Hey, let's keep it real. We only live so long. So
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
you're right.
sure, yeah.
Right.
And having all them fish fries that we talk about ain't helping. So, but for us, like for me, mine's going to take me to 76 years old. I mean, the average male only lives to 73, so that means that they're already knowing that they're going to take a chance that they're probably going to have to pay out.
Right.
Because if I die with the average person dies, then they're going to have to pay out. So they're actually based on how I live my life and how my my database says they think that I'm going to be okay. So it's all about risk. They don't want to pay,
Right.
So the younger you are, a 28-year-old policy is way cheaper than a 58-year-old's policy.
Okay. No wonder I seen it double. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
what happens if you have the insurance policy
Right.
and you become disabled and you can't work? Can you still keep the insurance policy?
Yeah. Well, you keep insurance policy as long as your disability is still able to pay for it. And see, that's one of the reasons why you want to get a policy, especially the younger you are, the better, especially if you're trying to go whole life. A perfect example, I didn't know no better like anybody else. My son at 16 years old found out that he had epilepsy. So it was a lot harder to get him insurance at age 18 than it would have been at age 14 before we found out he had epilepsy. So that's why for your kids, get them a whole life policy right away. That turns into an adult policy once they turn 18, and then they'll have a policy without having to do any physical on a policy that's earning money for the rest of their lives, because their policies are even better than adult policies are.
Right, right.
Again, that's the stuff we didn't learn about when we were young.
Right. I got a question, especially because I know this one's gonna go. It's gonna apply to a lot of motherfuckers on here. Let's say somebody break up. How hard is it to change your beneficiary?
You ain't got to do nothing but fill out a DocuSign and move on.
On your phone, sign ain't going about your business.
Okay, because that was my thing. Can it be changed easily? Because some people,
Oh yeah. For most of them, you already have an online account. You can change it by every argument y'all have.
Well, wait. A question to add with that. If the policy is in, I'm just gonna say her name, and she's the beneficiary, you can still just kind of DocuSign, it's done, said, and over with.
Well, there's the policy owner, and then there's a beneficiary. So whoever's policy owns the policy, they decide where the money's going. So it's on you to do whatever you want to do. Now, that being said, if part of a divorce decree says that the insurance policy has to stay with her, then that's what it says. So I can't get into the legality of y'all dividing your assets, but but as far as on a policy that's yours, you decide who gets the money.
So I guess what I'm asking is, if she's the policy holder and you want to get off and start your own, do you start from scratch? Is it, How would that work?
So it's rare that people actually get insurance for some other people, except for kids now. But you can do that. Yes, if she's a policy holder, that she got the policy, but you sign saying yes, she can have a policy on my life and get the money, then she gets to decide where it goes. Because she's the owner.
Okay.
Yeah. Correct. It's rare that happens. Usually everybody has their own.
Yeah.
And real quick, what happens if somebody, let's say they fall on hard times for like 60 days or a month or something? What happens if they miss a payment on one of their policies or on their policy?
So just like with every, I would say, credible insurance company, the bigger insurance companies, there's a lot longer grace period in it. It's actually legit, actually in life insurance, called a grace period. And you'll know. I get, like, for example, if I have a customer like that, I'll get an alert. It will say July 19th is when their grace period is over. So I gotta let the people know. I said, whatever you got to do, move some stuff around. Just make sure some money gets back in there before July 19th, because because then at that point you would have to start all over. And your insurance would be based on how old you are at that point to start all over.
Okay, how long are the grace periods usually?
Depends on company. I have companies. I have companies that a week after you gone, because the state law says they only have to give you a week. They have to give you a week, and you want to stay on top of it. That's why you want to do it ahead of time. But with the major, bigger companies, you're talking about 4 to 6 weeks at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
It's just like your bad driving record insurance companies. They'll give you 5 days after your payment is due, but then you go to your big companies and they'll give you 30 days. So same thing. You get what you pay for in this world. So,
we already know that. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
For sure.
That makes sense.
For sure. And I'm gonna tell you something. And because some people don't believe in it and whatnot, so you got to give like a testimony. Can you give any example of a time where you've seen the life insurance actually help somebody?
So far for me, the very first insurance policy I've had was my own wife passing away. So my wife passed away of cancer. So I can tell you firsthand, how it is to go about it. The money was in my bank in like 9 days, and that actually, pay off her stuff, get her stuff done, let her go the way she wanted to go in a respectful way, and then and have money to make sure things got handled. I sent some money to her son, because that was my stepson, so I made sure he had some money. But yeah, I've had to do it firsthand. That was the very first one I had to do, was my own policy. So yeah, that's deep.
Well, yeah, ain't no better testimony than that. That's for them.
Most definitely.
Yeah, my condolences to you, brother.
Yes. Condolences.
One of the things I wanted to make sure I chimed in because something happened this weekend that I've been trying to tell people all the time. People will say, well, I have life insurance through my job. And I will say, if you have life insurance through your job, get it. If you have the opportunity to get life insurance through your job, get it. But don't just get that. That's only good while you have your job. Once you leave that job, you don't have life insurance anymore. Right. The good thing about it is normally it's a great plan. So have that plus other insurance. Because right now there's 17,000 Spirit Airline people woke up this morning without life insurance.
No job.
Yep.
Yeah.
No job.
Yeah. And the same thing happened in COVID when they put everybody on furlough. On the time that you needed life insurance more than any other time in this world, these people didn't have life insurance because while you're on furlough, your benefits aren't in. So they didn't have life insurance while they had furlough. They did that shit on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They did that shit on purpose.
A lot of money.
They would have to pay out all this stuff. So you think
that
you have it through your job, it's great. I have it through my job too. But I have 5 other policies to make sure in case something happens, I'm going to be okay. So and the family's going to be okay.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. I love that. I'm glad that you spoke on that because that's one of the biggest things that's another misconception. I have it through my job. I don't need it. I'm good. But it's like if anything happens to your job, you won't have it. And a lot of people don't understand that. So thank you for touching on that for sure. Because I was one of those people having a job for so long, thinking I didn't need it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same.
She said you'll get fired on Tuesday and die on Thursday. Oh,
Yeah.
it's over. It's over.
On
For
a day
real.
off too. So,
Yeah, you're gonna die on a Saturday. Oh, it's over for you, my boy. Get the fish fries ready, get the grease ready.
Get the grease ready.
I got one more question for myself per se. What's the biggest misconception that people have about life insurance, in your opinion?
that they don't think they can afford it, you know, and some of them think that they're not gonna pass. I mean, I'll give you an example. I mean, in 2006, I applied for life insurance, and they told my fat alcoholic ass that they wasn't gonna cover me. Straight up, straight up. Now 80 pounds lighter and 24 years of recovery, I get insurance now. So if you're doing right, living right, you got a lot better chance. So there are still people getting declined, but they want policies. They try to do anything they can to do policy, to get a policy now, and to do a policy without a medical evaluation, because those physicals that they send a doctor out your house, that shit costs money.
Mm-hmm.
Sending a doctor to your house costs money. They don't want to do that. So if they can approve you, and like I said, I have some companies I use that they don't do any physicals no matter what. Either they're going to say yes or they're going to say no. So.
That's it.
That makes sense.
So I have a question. A life insurance, let's say you pay $150 a month.
Mm-hmm.
If a person can afford to, can they say, okay, I want to pay it up for 10 years?
You can. I don't see the need for it. Just put that on auto pay, because if you pay it up front, it's not really gonna help your situation, because that just means that you prepaid it to somebody to get your own money back. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
Because it's not like prepaying down a loan or anything. Just where there's a benefit to paying up front. Insurance give them as little as possible all the way through. Now that being said, if it's a universal life policy that you're trying to earn money on, oh yeah, break bread. If you got some extra money, you got taxes that you didn't plan on, and you're trying to build some wealth.
Right.
Oh yeah, you can do that route.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get into, right? Like, if you're in your younger ages, then for sure do something like that. You know what I mean? Because at some point you can, it builds cash value, like you said, you can borrow against it. But as an older cat, like, it really wouldn't be in your best interest to try to do that, right?
Unless you just got a bunch of disposable income, which I'm not that guy. My bike costs too much money.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so the universal one is the one that you can borrow against, correct?
You can borrow against universal, and you can borrow against whole life. You can borrow against both. Yeah. And they always say it's tax free. The only reason it's tax free is because you can borrow it and you ain't got to pay it back. So it's not that you're getting tax free money. It's just that you just took some of your own money out, and it's up to you whether or not you want to pay it back or not. But not paying it back just means that if you do pass away, that you're not going to get as much. That person's not going to get as much money. So if you borrowed 20 grand and it's $100,000 policy and you pass away, then they're only going to get 8.
Got it.
You already took it. So.
Okay.
So being that you
I get it now. Okay.
Being that you're on the motorcycle
Clock
set.
It. Makes perfect sense. Love it.
How many motorcycle clubs or motorcycle men actually come and talk to you about policies, being that you are around so many motorcycle guys and clubs since you've been around for a while?
Not as many as I should, for sure. When I used to get hit up, when somebody posts up on the Black Biker Set Facebook page talking shit about people not having insurance, then all of a sudden people start chiming in for a week, or somebody pass away, and then people start chiming in for a week. But
temporary motivation. Yeah,
it's not a subject we like to talk about.
Right.
That, it's even hard to advertise to get life insurance, because people, it's just got to hit them on the day that they feel like doing it. Today's the day. I'm going to make sure my family comes. Either they get it or they don't get it. It's hard. That's why when I used to be able to to advertise, I used to only advertise to women because the women will talk their husbands into getting life insurance because they know it predominantly affects them. But now you can't break it down like that. You can't discriminate on who you advertise for insurance. You know,
yeah, because if I'm gonna pay for your bike,
way more,
you gonna get some life insurance
than us knuckleheads are for sure.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I seen a post the other day, and correct me if I'm wrong. The brother said, "This fool hit me while I was white lining." Now I heard if you're on a bike and you're white lining and you get hit, it's your fault. Is that correct?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
No.
Okay.
It used to be like that.
It used to be. Well, neither one of us are legal scholars, but I could tell you the way it's said now. If you're down the middle, you're where you're supposed to be, and they're required to give you room now. Before
Exactly.
You had to figure out how to get around them.
Exactly.
Now the law states in California they're supposed to make room for you. So they actually hit you. But then again, it would depend on did they move over and you hit the back of them, or did they hit you from the side? So anytime you run into anybody, there's always a chance that they're going to say it's your fault if you run into them. But if you're in the middle and they hit you, it should be their fault for sure.
Okay.
And that's the only thing I was finna speak on. Like, it used to be like you could white line, but if it's an accident, it's the white liner's fault. That's no longer the case no more.
Right, because at that point it wasn't legal; it just wasn't illegal.
Right.
So there was a
big there you go.
Now it's actually legal,
there.
And there's technically guidelines that they follow for it now. So it's a difference.
Right. Right. That's why you see them big neon signs where it'd be like share the lane and all that type of shit.
Yep. I love that.
I got a question.
Motorcycle Awareness Month, which is May.
Oh,
they usually put that up there for
all
day long.
You see what happens to bikes at stop signs, and stoplights and in traffic, they get ran up on. That's why we white it. And cops do it. Cops want us to do it. They want to do it too. If you commute to the city, you just get right behind a cop all the way there.
Right.
They all move over for him. When I used to have a white road glide, they all used to move out of my way when I had a white road glide. I wasn't even mad at them. So I just
right. Let me ask you this real quick, because I know some people will think, as soon as they start paying that they're supposed to get the benefit. But what is the actual waiting period or the time frame for when your policy actually kicks in?
So on a normal everyday policy, if that policy is issued and paid today, unless there's fraud or suicide, if you got into an accident on the way home and passed away, they should pay. So that's on a normal everyday legit company policy. So there are some other policies, but there's different type of, there's accident only policies too. There's policies that you can get, usually those cheap ones from the bank that you get a whole bunch of money for super cheap. I got those too. It's like, because I figure if I ever go out, I'm probably going out on a motorcycle. So I have accident
pretty
only
much
coverage as well. And the good thing about accident only coverage is that's also for like dismemberment too. So if I go down hard and lose a couple fingers or lose a leg, then I can get paid while I'm still alive because I got into an accident. So that's just
God damn, Mecca. God damn. You could have. God, it's the insider, Corey. Don't worry about it. This is nigga Mecca. Boy, you can have some pocket change right now.
But yeah,
so what's the time frame to get paid?
Though, one of the things I got to chime in when, like me, if you want to buy, like, I'll tell you straight up, not too long, I'm the #1 motorcycle insurer in the entire country. There's no one who does more motorcycle policies than me. I do 90 a month. And there's a reason why and I don't care what you want. I'm going to sell you the policy you're supposed to get, because I'm not trying to have somebody come back on me to find out they don't have uninsured motorists and they're sitting in the hospital with $100,000 worth of claims because they don't have the right coverage and they got taken out. So it's a cheaper way of going, especially depending on what state you're in. Uninsured motorists is like super expensive, but it's one you got to have. People always just want to get, call Geico and get somebody on the phone and get the cheapest coverage that they can get. You know, that person on the phone sitting in Kansas making $7.45 an hour, they just want to do a policy. You know, they don't care about you. You know, so me, I'm going to sit there and make sure that I give you the right kind of policy that's going to protect your bike, because we know we care about the bike regardless, and then make sure that you're going to be okay. And then, you know, I've never done a policy that doesn't include roadside assistance and towing, and I've never done a policy that doesn't include uninsured motorists, and I won't. I don't need your money that bad, because I want to be able to look myself in the mirror and know that you hitting the road safe.
Right.
So are your policies lower than Geico and State Farm and everybody else?
If you have Geico, call me tomorrow, bro. I take care of you.
Call me tomorrow.
Call me tomorrow. Now, actually, most companies, honestly, because Harleys are so expensive, and every time one goes down, they almost want to total it every single time. So Geico and Progressive, their rates are going way up on stuff. Luckily, my company, I do most of my policy through Foremost, which is a branch of Farmers. We've had 4% increase in the last 7 years. So they trying to get all the business, you know, until they don't. You know, they're trying to get it all. But I've never ever lost a policy to Geico, and I make sure they're covered correctly and still beat Geico.
Well, shit. Okay then.
I'll let your boy.
I'm about to as soon as we get off of here. I'm sure about to.
So if you hit me up on a Saturday, I still answer the phone.
We'll see. Because I got your direct number.
I'll be for my laptop computer. You'll see me right there on my laptop computer. You hit me in my hotel room. You go on a policy home. That's right.
Hey, let's get it. Y'all heard it, y'all. Y'all heard it. My man say he can get you on the right before Geico will.
Yeah, he fix your body and your bike. No,
because those are two major things. Because I mean, I went down in 2018, and when I went down, first thing I was still laying on the ground with my helmet on. I called over to Harley and said, "Come pick up my bike." We went to ER. Once they let me get out of ER, went straight to Harley to look at my bike. Because I mean, that's just the people we are. We don't make all the sense. You know, I made sure the bike was going to be okay, which it wasn't. It was total. And then went ahead and called that injury attorney to make sure, and same thing. I got them for everything that they had, and they had low coverages, and then went after my own company for underinsured motorists to even get more money. That's why it's so important for you to have uninsured motorists, because if somebody else is going the cheap route, you get the all-day money and get some of your own company's money too, and it don't even count against you because it ain't your fault. It's a not at fault accident.
Right.
Makes sense.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I appreciate you, Mr. Ellerbee, for coming through with us and trying to explain some stuff. If we get any more questions, we might have to bring you back for the simpletons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before you go, pass out that information for those people who might want to get in contact with you right now.
Yes, sir.
Hit me on my cell phone. Like I said, I'm 7 days a week. You can hit me if I answer the phone, I'm working. It's that simple. So my cell 707-690-8321, and email's even easier. It's Cory@bigcory.com. You can't go wrong there. You can hit me up on that. Hey, one last thing, we'll talk about my sound competition on Saturday.
Oh yeah, before you do,
I was just finna get on it. I was just finna get on it because I might need your help with some speakers. But go ahead and let them know what you do.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, I'm a sponsor of the Big Cory's West Coast Sound Bagger Competition. We put on all kinds of shows up north, but we also do one in Vegas every year. I make it real easy and real fun. We have 9 different classes, so everybody's got a spot. Get in where you fit in. So, people with beginner bikes don't need to go against like my bike. That wouldn't be fair.
No.
So we got
16,000 watts of power.
Stocks, we got a little bit for everybody, and I do it as a love for the sport. I love the whole sound competition thing. I don't charge to be in my shows. I got cash prizes for the winner in Vegas. You get $200 if your class wins. You're gonna get a little mini slot machine trophy that works. I'm trying to do something. It's Vegas. I had to do something Vegas style. Got some custom made slot machine. And then every competitor is going to get a raffle ticket to win some DC Audio or some Gale Force Audio speakers just for entering the contest. So you ain't got nothing to lose. Come through. We're going to have liquor. We're going to have liquor trucks. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to have dessert trucks. We're going to have a DJ. We're going to act out. It's going to be 96 degrees. So y'all going to be at that dessert tent. That's for sure. So
That's
a lot of margaritas that day. So.
And what's the date of that? I know it's like next
so
weekend, right?
This
night.
Saturday.
We're going to do a bike night parking lot pimping thing on May 8th from 6 to 9. That's going to be a Las Vegas Harley in the back. And then the sound competition, the main event will be on May 9th. Signups are from 10 to 11:30. Show starts at 12, and I'm never late. At 12 o'clock, we'll be playing music. So
for sure, then, Las Vegas Harley, 5191 South. It's Las Vegas Boulevard.
Come on out and hear my stereo on my bike. It'll change your life.
No. I mess with you, Cory.
Right. All right, y'all. Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate everyone for tuning in and chiming in. We'll be on next Monday. We already know the routine, 6:15, 6:30. We'll be on that CPT shit. And that's about it. Anybody got anything else before we get on up out of here?
No, thank you, Big Cory. Thank you for coming on and sharing all of your info. Much needed and appreciated.
Yeah. And don't forget, July 5th, we have a function finna pop off. Make sure you look for the flyers. Make sure you pull up because it's going to be something you're not going to want to miss. That's for sure. All right, y'all. You done, Phil? You cool for the moment, Jackson?
I got everything I need, man. I'll be white lining.
Hey, look at you. Yeah, somebody hits you. I'm calling Cory. Look at you.
No, I'm gonna call him before that, so I'm already good. Yeah, most definitely.
Ain't this a blip? All right, y'all. Good night. We'll see y'all next Monday. What's going on?
Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Bikes in the Hood podcast channel on YouTube. Your support is greatly appreciated. You can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, and Facebook. Stay safe in them streets.